This bit of the session is pre-recorded, but if you have any questions, drop them in chat. We'll answer them at the end. But yeah, it was just recorded due to limitations with sharing screens and stuff. So yeah. Oh, I've got it working now, so I'll start the video.
If needs be.
Looks like the audio's not working for the video. I'm just gonna try and work this out.
Sort of like over. Hello all. I know some of you have been asking what to watch, where do we start when we're starting to learn how to hack and pen test and stuff. And I didn't want to give you this information right from the get-go, just because it can be quite overwhelming when you watch something like a full walkthrough of a hack like last week without knowing what Metasploit is, what's vulnerability scanning, what's like Nmap, what are all these things? So I didn't want to jump straight into that and then sort of like overwhelm you and confuse you. So now we're going to be going on and trying to sort of like, I'm going to be explaining where to learn, what to learn, who are the best people to help teach you when you're doing stuff outside of Cyberclinic. Because if you just search how to hack on YouTube or stuff, I'm sure you've all done it by now, it comes up with quite a lot of just contradictory or incomplete information, or it just says use this tool, it's the best thing out there, and it doesn't give you any reasoning or anything behind that. So hopefully this this video will sort of like help you be able to do that, and sort of like be able to pick from the good from the bad, sort of like the ways that people teach. So as again, our standard disclaimer applies. Anything you learn whilst doing Cyberclinic, or if they don't say it purposefully in these videos and the stuff I'm going to be recommending, do not use it for anything malicious or any of those kind of purposes. This is only for your own education and your own future careers. So I'm going to be showing you where you can and cannot test these kinds of things as well. So all of these things will then help and add up and try and sort of like make you a well-rounded hacker, so that when you are using these things, whether they're in your university course or anything like that, you have the right reasoning, you have the right research, you have the right thought process behind using each and every one of these tools. So, as I say, today we're going to be covering how, or where I learned and how I did a lot of my stuff. So, I'm going to be covering who to watch. So, this is going to be on YouTube primarily because there is a lot of good YouTube stuff out there, but there's also quite a lot of drag and dreary stuff that's out there as well that just says this is the tool I'm going to be using and just use the tool. It doesn't say when you should or should not use that tool. That's all it does. It just says this is the tool, this is how it works. I'm going to show you some of the different sites. So if you are not learning just on our CTF platform, which you should still always go and do once you've gone and covered a topic, because ours is quite low level in some cases. But I'm going to be showing you some of the other ones. So Hack the Box, Pentest Labs, some others as well. What to do when you're sort of like trying to learn. So downloading a virtual machine and running it in conjunction with your Kali box and stuff like that. And where to get these vulnerable machines as well. Because vulnerable machines are a lot better than most of the CTF or challenges and stuff like that, because it is a full VM. It shows you the full way of getting into a box. It shows you the full workflow and the mindset and everything like that of how to get from step one, which is just scanning it. The full mindset, sorry about that, my Google just went off. But they're showing you the mindset of how to get and where to go with these vulnerable machines and how the whole process is, not just this is an SQL injection, it gives me what it wants. How do we get to that stage? How do we know that there is an injection? How do we know all of this other stuff? So I'm going to be going over who to watch. So John Hammond is the first person. He's a very good logical pen tester. And what I mean by when he's presenting, he is incredibly good because he explains the thought process that he's going through. He doesn't just go through the box and say, this step, then this step, then this command, then this command, then this command, then this. He goes through and he explains the thought process behind why he runs each command. And he'll show quite a few commands that don't lead anywhere or don't actually manage to get you onto the box. And he does a lot of good full walkthrough videos from start to finish, from end map stage all the way through to getting full root access to the box. He's incredibly good at this, and this is what his niche is. And he does quite a lot of also external development on a lot of the tools we use and recommend. So last week we covered LinPs a little bit, which is the privilege escalation stuff, and he's worked on that and is incredibly gifted in that kind of sense. So Live Overflow is a slightly higher level, so it's a lot more programming. It's a very low, high level explanatory wise, but low level code wise. So you're going to be looking at a lot of sometimes assembly code or a lot of heavy code aspects and doing full CTF challenges because he's one of the world's best hackers. He goes away and does things on live stages and stuff like that. He's got a video up on his channel where he goes over to, I think it's China somewhere, and he goes and he's on the live stage of the world hacking competitions, and he's going through a live router to break into that and try and figure it out. And then you've got Deviant Olem. So he's an incredibly good social engineer. He's very good at lockpicking, breaking into buildings, all of those kind of things. But he's also done a lot of logical stuff as well. So a lot of the sort of online stuff as well. He's got a good team that works with that. He does a lot of DEF CON talk. So if you don't know what DEF CON is the sort of like the big security conferences that are world renowned. And these are the things that if you get invited to, you almost have to go. So these talks are incredibly good because they cover such a wide variety of stuff. He's a good public speaker, and it covers sort of like a shotgun approach to different aspects of either cybersecurity or physical security. Because as we know, if I can walk up and plug a USB stick into your computer, it doesn't matter how many firewalls and how many SSH loops and multi-factor authentications you've got. If I can just plug in a USB that runs local code. So he's incredibly good at that sort of like physical side. So quite a lot of these people, or some of the YouTube videos you'll be watching, they'll be hacking into some kind of virtual box site or something like a hack the box virtual machine or something like that, where you have to VPN to their sort of like their little enclave of computers, and then you'll be hacking something within that domain. So these are some of the best ones. So Pentester Labs is something that I used in the past. It's paid. Hack the Box is majoritively free, but there are paid options. Vuln Hub are straight virtual machines, and Tryhackme is something I've not had a go at yet, but I've seen it in a lot of YouTube videos, and I'm going to be trying it in the near future. So starting off, Vuln Hub. So these are virtual machines, like a full VM that you download locally to your network, and then you do everything on them here. So you would have them running on the same machine or on a separate machine, and you would just be running through them within your own local domain. So you aren't reaching out to the internet. You can do these things when you're sort of like on the plane, when you're traveling. They're quite nice just to have just on your local machine, so that then you can start trying to hack into them and stuff like that. You set them up as I say, a VM, so like your Kali VM. You set them on a host-only network, so only your Kali VM and your main machine can access them and talk to each other. And they're very, very secure in that way if you are worried about something getting into your network or leaving something on your own network. They go from literally WordPresses, so just a basic website with a couple of vulnerabilities in them, all the way up to full sort of like infrastructure level sort of stuff where you're going through multiple servers or fake multiple servers, and they can be incredibly, incredibly hard because you can go through and then series them. When I say series them, they will have a low level one. So I took this screenshot because it iterated it. So Warzone 1 is quite a good one for sort of like learning a lot of the nitty-gritties of ports and sort of like basic networking knowledge. And then the second one is enumeration, and it literally gives you a little thing of this one is good for this, this one is good for this, this one is good for this. So they are quite nice. Pentester Labs, as I say, they are paid. They are very, very good if you have never touched Linux before. So they are from very, very slow, how to change directory, how to make directory, where certain files are stored. You can get a free trial with your Uni ID, or at least you could. And now it is just a reduced price. So you can get 3 months worth of trial for, I think it's £8 or something along those lines. And it is great for sort of like a hand-holding way of doing your pen testing. So it will lead you along. It will sort of say, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, and it will walk you through every place that things can possibly come into. The next one is Hack the Box, which is my personal favorite. It is a sort of like the gold standard almost, because they have so many employees. They have 400 employees that are on the books, that are maintaining the site, upgrading it, doing merch, all of that kind of stuff. So as I say, this is my personal favorite. We have a university team on here now, so you can go on and start getting some points between us all, and we can all try and help each other out with this one. Paid version opens up a lot of machines. So currently on your free version, you have, I think it's between 5 and 10 at any one time current machines, plus a bunch of sort of like challenges, labs, and everything like that that are separate. So your machines are what we were going through last week, which are your full, basically, virtual machines. You VPN into their network, you start hacking them from there. When you pay, you can get access to over 150 of them, and all of these have walkthroughs on them because they aren't currently live anymore. So every time they retire a box, it goes into the paid version pool, so you can go back and look at them after the fact. As a really good community, there's a lot of people that are very willing to help you and actually looking forward to and helping you as a hacker progress. And all of the stuff that you want to learn starting off with is free. So it's incredibly good, and I would recommend you go out and sort of like have a look at this. Tryhackme is, as I say, a new one. And this one's very, very different because you don't actually need a full VM to be able to start doing these things, because they have one built into the browser in your paid version. So it's £8 a month, and you start and you get your full Kali VM with every tool that you could possibly ever need for doing these given challenges and stuff installed within a cloud environment. So it is in your browser. You don't need anything special. You just need a continuous good internet connection. It's very good for sort of like the learning aspect. So goes through again tutorials, Nmap, Metasploit. Burp Suite is the equivalent of Postman, what Ryan was going over a couple of weeks ago. So Burp Suite is another version of that, which is used for your API testing or your post injection and all of this kind of stuff. Then you've got it goes on to Blue, which is Eternal Blue, which some of you might have heard of, which is Windows exploitation and getting around Windows bypasses and stuff. Because a lot of the virtual machines that you're going to be looking at on something like Hack the Box or these other ones are all going to be your Linux-based machines, which is great because that's what a lot of servers out there actually are, and a lot of stuff that we are trying to hack into or pen test because we're working for the company and they say, oh, we want to see if someone's going to be able to get into our website. Very few people are running their websites on Windows computers. A lot of them are running them on their Linux computers, which is pretty good because that's what we're going to be training on most of the time. But if you are trying to do a pen test of a building or another company where they're not just looking at the servers, Eternal Blue and looking at Windows hacking is very, very useful. So what to do once you've started doing them? So as I say, if you do want to pay for a couple of these little things, you can then go through and watch a real life walkthrough once you've had a go at them. So for some of them, it will be you do your enumeration on something like a hack the box retired machine. You'll go through and all of a sudden you'll get to a point and you say, I've been sat at this screen for 20 minutes, half an hour or something. You go away, you Google the box name, walkthrough, you scroll down to where you are, and then you just say, oh, it's this tool that I've never ever heard of, or oh, I should have thought about that earlier, and then you stop looking at it. You go away, you just bypass that one level from the retired box, and you start having a look at what the next level is. See if you could work it out if you had pressed that key command shortcut or you'd put that switch on, and you look through that. Or you can watch videos of them. So as I say, John Hammond is incredibly good at these, of doing walkthroughs of the boxes. So it teaches the process of going through the box. So instead of just saying, this is the way through it, this is the command you take, you sort of like look at the ways that the false flags, the ways that aren't quite in. So last week we were doing the Academy box that had a big, huge false flag, which was trying to get through the MySQL, where me and Ryan spent quite a lot of time trying to play with that, and it didn't work because it's a false flag. You didn't actually need to go through that method if you wanted to get fully in. So it's that thing of you can see other ways as well of people doing them, because there's not always just one way in for some of these kinds of boxes. There's sometimes one that does all web app, or you have to get root access to the server, and there's different ways that you can then get through this system and learn different ways of doing it. Also, the thing about getting stuck in with some of the opportunities that are out there, these will also help you. So coming to Cyber Clinic, that's already starting you on your journey and sort of like helping you get to grips with some of the more basic concepts. And also now we're moving into some of the not so basic concepts when we're doing full machine walkthroughs where it's multi-step process and all these other things where you've got to consider, why am I using this instead of this? This is all going to help you. The NEBRC, again, incredibly good opportunity for you. So what it's going to be doing is sort of like walking you through and how to get these skills that you're getting on paper or hacking into something on paper and getting these and putting them into a real life scenario. So whether that be doing a web app test, doing some OSINT investigation on someone, or doing all of these individual pieces of information and research and all these little bits, they all start adding up and they all start helping become making you a more rounded hacker or something, whatever you want to be. So cyber volunteering. So the police are running a scheme at the moment where you can apply to be a volunteer. So it's not a paid position, but it's sort of going out and helping them collect evidence or look at evidence and all of this kind of stuff. There's going to be some links at the end, or I'll drop them in the chat whilst you're going through this, about the cyber volunteer program, which is quite a good idea. Helping the uni red team. So what don't mean by this is don't just go away and start trying to hack them, because that's going to be a bad idea. But there's something in the pipeline at the moment that might be coming in after Christmas where you would help us try and have a look at individual systems when we are sort of like implementing them or after they've been implemented, and sort of like trying to work out and help us figure them out. If you find something by accident, this is fine as well. Tell us about it. Me and Ryan will both open to these kinds of questions and sort of saying, oh, I found this weird glitch, or I found this information leak, or I found this kind of stuff. Is it of any use? Send it us. We can always have a look at it. If it's not the end of the world. We've wasted a little bit of time. But that doesn't bother us. It's all about also the learning process of you and how you'll get further into this. So as I say, that's probably coming round the lines just after Christmas when we all start coming back into uni. Then there's also a couple of other opportunities. You can start having a look at external companies or doing some volunteer work and stuff like that for trying to get, help broaden and round off your skill set. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys, and understand why I've waited this long to do it. So with the holidays coming up, hopefully you'll be able to go away, and now that you've got a base understanding of basic networking and some of the tools we're going to be using and why we use tools that we do, you'll be able to go away and enjoy working on some of this stuff over the holidays. If you have any questions, as always, shoot us a message on Discord first. There's always about 3 or 4 of our support members around, so if you do have anything, please drop it in and we'll be happy to help you before you try and email us. But as always, my email's on here anyway. So if you do want to contact me there, perfectly fine. But as I say, Discord's your first place because someone might also have the same question as you. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day. We are going to be jumping over to the Discord channel now anyway to go through and talk about some of the latest cybersecurity news, and one of us or 2 of us will be working on some hack the box stuff. So thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.
So yeah, that was Matt's talk on where and what to learn for hacking and pen testing. If anyone has any questions, now would be a great time to ask. Give it a few minutes, and then we'll be jumping over to Discord and talk about hacking news and pen testing and leaks and things that have been happening over the last week. Okay, it doesn't look like there's any questions coming through. All right, so we'll see everyone in Discord, and yeah, thanks. Oh wait, so during the holiday period we ain't doing anything. That's correct. Yes, there may be the odd CTF challenge and stuff we might release. But you're always welcome to hop into Discord and ask questions and stuff anyway, or ask for support. So but, yeah. Anyway, we'll be over in Discord. Thanks for coming.